Hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming here with another The Hunter Call of the Wild video. Now today's video is going to be a little bit of an unusual one. We're going to be going around doing a couple of different things, starting off here on Quattro Colinas with a clip that I took just before I actually shot my great one the other day. This is that big diamond stag that I mentioned finding not long before I actually found the great one. And yeah, I just had to put him in a video because he is in and of himself a very impressive looking animal. And honestly, when I saw this guy, I was really pleased, and I actually managed to get a nice heart shot on him there and drop him on the spot, which is always a really cool thing to do. And you can see he landed really nicely. You can just see how huge he is. Picking him up, he is going to be a diamond at 267.80, so a pretty big diamond that actually spawned on the same run as that great one. So this guy just had to be in a video somewhere. I didn't want to put him in the video with the great one because I wanted it to be all about the great one. But yeah, I took this clip literally maybe 20 minutes before I found that great one, and this was a really, really nice thing to see. And, you know, if I do continue the grind for a second one, this is still a good respawn to put back into the respawn pool, being a really nice diamond stag of this size. And honestly, he's just huge and looks so impressive. And actually, I think he's actually not far off the size of what my crate one was. So yeah, pretty cool for just a diamond to be this big. Of course, he's not my personal best, but these guys are always impressive, so I'm always happy to find them. Moving on to another clip that happened only shortly before finding that great one the other day. I was at this lake, which was actually the next lake in my rotation after shooting that big diamond, and I had a decent sized mythical and also a piebald hind stood next to each other. Now, I haven't shot a lot of female red deer in this red deer grind, and it's only really been the single females that have turned up at zones on their own that I have taken out, so I haven't had a whole lot of female rare respawns. But it is still nice to see a rare, and this one just happened to land in one of the weirdest ways I've ever seen an animal land in Call of the Wild. It was kind of propped up on its legs, which was just absolutely bizarre. I honestly have never had one land like this ever, so I had to kind of just walk around it and see exactly what was going on. And at the time I was also streaming to Discord and showing my fiance, because I honestly just couldn't believe what I was seeing. This is honestly just so bizarre. And I did take a few screenshots as well that I could share into Discord, because yeah, you don't see them land like that every day. It was almost as if it had tried to fall over, but the legs had stopped it doing the full animation. Absolutely bizarre, and one moment that I had to include in the video. And like I said, similar to with that big diamond stag, this is still a really nice find, and I did want to put it into a video somewhere, but I didn't want it in the same video as the great one because I wanted everything to be about the great one in that video. But a nice little piebald that added to the numbers for the grind. Always good to see rares and diamonds that were popping up, and you know, that gave me some hope going forward, and then I found the great one. But moving on to something a little bit different now, and I've been hopping into multiplayer again in the past few days, looking for a few trophies that I still really would like for my main trophy lodge. Basically just trying to get some of those down before the new map comes out. And once again, I was looking for an albino seeker deer, but instead of finding an albino, as the trend seems to be with me, I ended up finding a level 5. Now, he is the smaller rack for a level 5 seeker deer, but he does actually make diamond at 206.40. Now, he's not completely even, he is a little bit wonky, but it was really hard to actually try and get that into the harvest screen to actually be able to show it, just because of how tall this guy's antlers are. But I think you can see sort of one curves in a little bit more than the other one, which is cool. It's always nice to have a little bit of uniqueness on these guys, and it's always nice to find level 5 seeker. I have found so many of them in this search for an albino, so hopefully one day we'll actually find that albino. But moving on to a different clip now, and this was actually on my own Hirschfelden map, and I decided that one of the things I'd like to do is try and get the last rare for geese that I needed before the new map. and that rare that I needed was the Bold Leucistic. Now, as what they were flying in this particular flock, I noticed that there was one that looked to be a Bold Leucistic, so I hit record and then completely lost sight of which one it was. But as soon as she landed, I could see that that was very definitely a Bold Leucistic. Now, I completely missed that first shot. I don't know how, honestly. I think I just shot far too high, but managed to get her while she was in the air, which was actually a little bit cooler. And then I had decided that I would take out the rest of the flock just for respawns and some extra cash. But it's funny that I got Melanistic and all of the other rares so much quicker than I got a Bold Leucistic, because it seems like the Bold Leucistics are not quite as rare as the Melanistics from everything that I've been seeing, and it just feels like it was funny to get a gold Melanistic before getting any kind of Bold Leucistic. But the Bold Leucistic is probably my favourite rare for the Canada geese. They just look fantastic with this sort of spotted neck, and then they have these grey-brown colour wings, and they just look really stunning. Like, that is a very noticeable rare, and what a beautiful goose. Now, it is only a level 1 female, but at this point I'm just happy to have a Bold Leucistic again. The last Bold Leucistic goose that I ever shot was on Xbox a long time ago. So when I saw this one actually flying in, I was incredibly excited. And that completes the collection of rare geese for my trophy lodge. So that's another tick in the right direction towards actually getting a trophy lodge tour done. I'm probably going to wait until the new map comes out and get some trophies into some spots that I want filling first, and then do a tour. But this was definitely one of the animals that I needed before I wanted to actually even think about trying to do a trophy lodge tour. So I was exceptionally happy to find this one. And like I said, I took out the rest of those geese for respawns, and I probably will keep hunting geese just because they're good fun and good money. So maybe we'll get a male eventually that can replace this one. But for now, all I'm really interested in is the fact it's a rare, because you can't tell in the trophy lodge that there's any difference just by looking at it. You wouldn't know if this was a diamond or a level 1 female. There's no size difference or anything. So to me, this is just as good as getting a decent sized male, because all I want it for is to go on the wall. I'm not worried about it going into any multi-mounts. And yeah, honestly, just such a beautiful looking goose. Now, moving on to the next clip, and we are here on Yukon Valley, where I have been out in search of some rare or diamond wolves. I've been wanting to do the Alpha Wolf multi-mount in my trophy lodge for a little while now, as I had one on Xbox that was really cool, and I was really looking for more for rare wolves, and I ended up getting attacked by a pack of wolves only for a few seconds before they turned and fled. But I noticed that there was a female in that pack that looked a lot darker than the others, and after picking up her track, I did see that she was a Melanistic. So after tracking the pack for quite a long way, she finally here decided that she was going to stop and turn broadside. So I managed to put a quick shot in her there with the M1, and she wasn't going to go very far from that. So that was a really nice find. I was kind of looking for either another Melanistic or an albino female, and then either a Mela or albino male, or maybe like a red brown or egg white diamond if I could get really lucky. But this is pretty much exactly what I was looking for. That is gorgeous. So she will be going into that Alpha Wolf multi-mount alongside another Melanistic female that I got from Yukon. And yeah, they are just stunning. Something about a Melanistic wolf is just so cool to see. So yeah, having two Melanistic females, I think it would be really cool if I could get, like I said, either an albino or Melanistic male just to top off that mount. I think 3 Melanistics would look really cool. Or, like I said, having the male being an albino, it'd be like a good way to differentiate between the males and females in the mount. So either way, it will be quite cool. But that was definitely worth the 1.92 kilometre track. They're just such a cool animal, and I don't see a whole lot of rare wolves. I don't hunt them a heck of a lot, but even when I do, I very rarely see any rares popping up, so this was definitely a really cool find. And sticking with grey wolves here on Yukon Valley, as I continued to hunt around in multiplayer in search of, like I said, either an albino or Melanistic male to finish off that mount, I ended up finding something a little bit different, and that is a 9 legendary guaranteed diamond wolf with that minimum estimate of 39. And if you've been watching the channel at all for any length of time, you'll probably know that me and Grey Wolves aren't the best of friends. I got trolled by so many Grey Wolves before I ever found a diamond. It took so long, and they're not the hardest diamond in the game to find by everyone else's experience, but for me they were just one of those animals that just never wanted to give me a diamond. And then I ended up getting 2 diamonds that were in side-by-side packs, and ever since, I've had quite good luck with actually finding legendary wolves. But quite a few of them have been trolls, and this guy then pops up, and he's a guaranteed diamond. And just because of how things have been with me and finding diamond wolves, or troll wolves, as I should say, I was so excited to see this guy had that minimum estimate of 39, because I know that that's got potential to be probably my biggest diamond wolf ever, seeing as my other 2 that I mentioned that I shot side by side were only just on diamond score and just above diamond score. So this guy, I was really excited to see what he would actually, what he would score, and hoping that he would be a new personal best. And you can see he is just a common, but picking him up, he is a diamond at 39.50, which means he is my biggest diamond ever for the Grey Wolves, and I am so over the moon with that. I love the wolves, they just don't love to give me trophies, really. So again, finding a melanistic and then finding a diamond, I was so happy with that. It's really, really cool to actually have some more wolf trophies, because as I said, they're one of my favourite animals in the game. I really am a big fan of all of their interactions, their animations. I think they're just a really cool animal, and it's a shame that they get bugged and everything so often, and that's kind of one of the reasons I don't hunt them as much. But I'm so grateful that I actually did go out and go for a wolf hunt in Yukon multiplayer and end up bagging these 2, because they're going to go great in the lodge. But moving on to the next section of this video, I was here on Medved Taiga as I was trying to get Grankin's shotgun. I've been going through a few different maps trying to get the premium skins for weapons that you can get through the missions, and that's basically what this next section of this video is going to be. But this ended up happening whilst I was on my way to get Grankin's shotgun. I got thrown like 400 meters randomly here on Medved Taiga. But now let's move on to getting those guns.
This is Georgi's cabin, but why aren't his dogs barking? Move in for a closer look. I don't like this gas canister. Georgi relies on dogs and a sled for transportation. He doesn't need gasoline. Please, check inside. Empty. Maybe Georgi took his dogs to the village for supplies. Anything unusual there? Signs of foul play? Chuchunya feet. And you say they smell like gasoline. Short. Here I am thinking Georgi is some prankster's victim, but Georgi is the prankster. What is the old man thinking? Please, take a photo to document this for the police. Thank you. So, perhaps old Georgi has lost his mind. I think it's best that you collect any firearms from the cabin before you leave. That shotgun is old, it's rusty, but if it still fires, it's good for protection against bears. Well, I need to call the police. Thank you for handling this with your usual discretion. Georgi's an old friend of the Nenets. Hopefully he meant no harm. I will be in touch shortly.
I think I know that Puma. My Fernanda. Don't let her suffer. She's done nothing wrong.
So, as you will have just seen, I did manage to get Grankin's shotgun from the Medved missions, and now moving through onto Parque Fernando, where I am now on the last story mission, which actually unlocks a premium handgun skin, the 44 Gaucho Magnum Revolver, and it's a really awesome little handgun and one that I desperately really wanted to get, so this is the mission for that.
Check Fernanda's stomach when you harvest her. We still haven't found Gilbert Baden. Maybe... I knew it. Fernanda ate Gilbert Baden for breakfast. You were almost lunch. I'm glad that you survived. But Baden got what he deserved. Fernanda. She was the great loss today. When Fernanda was a kitten, I found her limping through the forest with a broken leg. Alone. No mother. So I adopted her. Beatriz and I raised Fernanda at the estancia until she was ready to go back to the wild. My family said I pampered her. But I pamper lots of pumas. Fernanda was just smarter than the others. She knew when people didn't belong here. People like Baden. Che, I'm invested in you. I want to protect my investment, so I have a gift for you. It will help if you are cornered by another one of my pampered pumas. My beloved Fernando's favorite 44 Magnum. I think, given your contributions, he would want you to have it. I know you have plenty of work to do around the reserve, but if you want to tackle something more low-key after all that excitement, look to Dr. Mariana Luna. I founded a grant for Mariana to research medicinal plants here at Parque Fernando. Once she identifies those plants, you can protect them by applying hunting pressure to at-risk areas. And with that, I will leave you to the job. I have hours and hours of telenovelas on VHS to watch. I never imagined having the free time to watch them all, but with you at Parque Fernando, well, my legacy is in world-class hands. I can finally rest easy. I'll be around if you need anything. Thank you, Che. Happy hunting.
So, as you will have just seen, by finishing that last story mission, I did unlock the 44 Gaucho Magnum Revolver, and then I moved on to doing the Stone Circle challenges here on Parque Fernando as well, to unlock the 338 Championship Rifle just as well. And as you can see, that was the last of the Stone Circle challenges that I had to do in order to unlock that weapon skin. So that was all of Parque Fernando's exclusive rifles, and Medved's mission for the shotgun done as well. So the next one I needed to do was to head over to Cuatro Colinas, go through the missions, and try and get the 6.5 Rayo.
Wait, did you hear that?
So we're now here on Cuatro Colinas going through the story missions, and honestly I looked online to try and find out which missions I needed to do to unlock the 6.5 Rayo, and some of them said do all the story missions, some of them said do the side missions first, so I ended up doing all of the story missions, then going through side missions until basically I found the right mission set to unlock the Rayo. But that also meant by doing the story missions that I got to take out a couple of really cool wolves, including the legendary Phantasma wolf.
Are you alright? Is it dead? Alma and Arturo, a wonderful couple from a nearby village, have asked me to be present at their wedding. As you know, things are extremely hectic at the moment, but I'm considering taking the day off to attend. Arturo makes beautiful furniture and has refurbished some antique pieces for my family over the years. He's even let us use his workshop to make custom frames for our hunting trophies. I'd like to repay them, so you and I are going to acquire a fitting centerpiece for their dinner table. For this centerpiece, I need a wild boar, and I am confident that you got an eye for an impressive specimen. There it is.
So, as I mentioned, I wasn't entirely sure what I had to do in order to unlock the side missions to get the 6.5 Rayo, so I went through all the way to the end of the story missions, and this was the final story mission, was to take out this particular Iberian wolf, and he is a unique mission animal called the Ogro wolf. I'm not going to end up keeping him, as I don't really keep mission animals, but this one does look really cool with the blood around the mouth and everything, and it was fun to actually get through all the way through and do all the story missions, and seeing as this was part of getting the Rayo, I thought I would include it in the video.
He's done. You killed it. That creature was a monster. Un ogro. You can hopefully find a way out. The monastery isn't safe, so be careful as you move around in there.
So finally, after completing the story missions and doing a couple of different side missions, I finally unlocked the specific side mission sequence that you need to do in order to unlock the 6.5 Rayo. And whilst I was doing those missions to get those specific side missions to pop up, I actually spotted something, which was this 9 legendary red deer. Now, I knew that for the 6.5 Rayo there was a mission in which you needed to shoot a diamond, so I left this guy on my map and came back for him once I had unlocked that specific mission, which ended up being the penultimate mission to get the 6.5 Rayo, and it was just kind of ideal that I had been grinding red deer on this map for a great one, because this just made getting this mission done so much easier, and it was really nice to see a legendary being on the map again. So I've actually had a couple of other diamonds popping up. Like I said, I had that big legendary diamond before the great one popped up, and then this guy. So clearly my red deer population is still doing quite well, and if I do decide to grind for a second great one, this is all very encouraging and making me think that I will stick to Quattro Colinas. But a 254.10 small rack diamond red deer was a really nice way to actually finish that mission. And like I said, I'm really lucky that I was grinding red deer on this map, otherwise I would have had to grind any of the species basically to just get a diamond to spawn so that I could actually complete that mission. That shot was almost too high there, I kind of got a little bit lucky, but yeah, just a really, really solid stag, and actually not a bad score for this particular rack, so I was very happy with that. So that was the final side mission I needed to unlock the 6.5 Rayo, which is a really, really beautiful gun, and I am so thrilled to finally have it. And I decided what a fitting way to end this video, other than to try and go out back onto Yukon and see if I could get a couple of diamonds or rares with at least 1 or 2 of the new weapons. And I ended up finding this level 5 caribou who was so stubborn about giving me a broadside shot, and he was a perfect candidate to take down with the brand new 6.5 Rayo that I had just unlocked. Honestly, the missions for the 6.5 Rayo weren't as bad as I was expecting. I think it was Don Miguel's side missions that I had to go through and unlock, and I ended up doing a whole other side mission sequence, which it said online that I had to do in order to unlock his missions, and then they didn't unlock, and then I started doing some other missions, and finally they appeared. So it was a little bit of work just trying to actually get his missions to pop up, but his missions weren't that bad. It was like shoot an ibex from 400 meters, take a picture of a male ibex on top of one of the hills, and just stuff like that. And like I said, the one mission where you had to shoot a diamond was supposed to be the really hard mission in that sequence, and I'm really thankful that I did end up finding that red deer whilst I was just basically going around the reserve doing all the other missions that I needed to do to try and get that sequence unlocked. And when I found this level 5 caribou, I honestly didn't think this guy was going to make diamond. Level 5 caribou troll so often, a bit like level 5 reindeer, and I could see that this guy had one side that was much bigger than the other, and I wasn't sure if that one really big side was going to be enough to push him over diamond requirement. And I also didn't really want to take a chest shot with the 6.5, as I've heard about the 6.5 not being the strongest gun out there, so I was definitely wanting to go for a broadside just to make sure that I actually could get a vital hit on this guy. Because, as I said, getting a level 5 caribou that will actually make diamond isn't particularly common, and if this guy was somehow going to make it, I really did actually want him for the lodge. And you can hopefully see what I mean about that one side just being so much bigger. It's thicker and the tops look bigger than the other side, and it's just a really strange looking caribou bull. But finally, he turned and gave me a broadside shot, and I managed to put a very solid double lung shot in him there with the 6.5, and he didn't go very far before he dropped. And I was really pleased to see that. I was actually expecting him to run a little bit further from what I'd heard about the 6.5, so I was very happy that he didn't go very far before he dropped. And he did actually make diamond at 433.20, so barely a diamond. And I think if he had both antlers being that antler that he has on his right side, I think then he would have been a bigger diamond. But I think that left side really let him down, and you can see all of the measurements here are uneven just because of that one antler being smaller. But it was a really cool first diamond to actually take with the 6.5. I didn't expect to find a diamond caribou, honestly, because as I mentioned, finding a diamond caribou, it has got a lot harder. It really didn't. It used back in the day when Yukon first came out, I had a few diamond caribou, but in recent days I've had more trolls than anything. And I was really happy with how that 6.5 Rayo performed with this guy. Really solid double lung and liver shot, and actually stomach in there as well, which is why he went down so quickly. And honestly, I really love anything that's got big antlers, so the caribou are one of my favourite species to get as diamonds. They're not my favourite model for any animal in the game, but their antlers look incredible. And I decided to go and do some more wolf hunting to round out this video. I really wasn't meaning to turn this into mainly a wolf video with those wolves on Quattro and the wolves that we had at the start on Yukon, but it's just how things ended up going. And when I came back to Yukon looking for wolves just after hunting down that caribou, I did end up finding another legendary. And I was debating whether to take him with the 6.5 or whether to try and get close and take him with the 44 that I unlocked on Parquet. And I basically decided that I really would like to take one out with the 44, just because it's such a cool looking gun and it would be nice to take a diamond with it as its first kill. So I was running around and trying to get them to go alert, and they actually went aggressive, which was really cool because the one that ended up running out in front of them all was the legendary. And this is exactly what I wanted, considering I'm going to be using a handgun and I need to be pretty close. And you'll see just how gorgeous this handgun is as we're running along with it. It's got some really superbly beautiful detailing. And honestly, one of my favourite looking guns in the entire game. I think it's just absolutely stunning. But something a little bit unfortunate happened. I noticed as I was running towards this guy that he was stood still, and unfortunately he had bugged out. So I took a heart shot there with the 44, and as you can see, it was a successful heart shot. He dropped on the spot. Unfortunately, nothing I can do about him getting bugged as this was multiplayer. But he also was a diamond, 39.2, another diamond grey wolf. So finally it seems that my luck with grey wolves has turned, and I'm really grateful for that. And that was the first kill with the 44 Gaucho, and it was a diamond, so I was really, really happy with that. But that is going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. I know it's been a little bit all over the place, doing lots of different things, but I've been mainly kind of trying to get stuff done for the Trophy Lodge before the new map comes out, and getting all these gun variants was something I wanted to do, seeing as we have all the gun plaques in that Safari Lodge. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for all your support, guys, as always. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.